What's up, guys? This is Pastor Theo and Mamba mentality. Kobe was my best friend, my hero, and my muse, and the greatest basketball player of all time. And I'll tell you how I know him and why I think he's the GOAT. Check it out. Hey guys, what's up? It's Theo Schaffer, and thank you so much for watching the Theo Schaffer Experience and watching my channel. Very quickly, before we get into the video, would you please hit that bell and subscribe? The more subscribers, the more likes. It allows my inspirational content to help people, families, organizations all over the world transform their lives so they can go out and make a difference. I really appreciate that. Take about 5 seconds to hit that like, that thumb. Yeah, subscribe. Yeah, appreciate it, fam. Well, listen, I'll try not to make this video long, but there's a story included to why Kobe Bryant is the GOAT. So in the summer of 1996-97, we had just buried my biological mother, Gwendolyn Gail Kelly, RIP. She was a registered nurse, a community hero. She took care of not only her nuclear family, her husband and her boys, my oldest brother, Ladrick, and my younger brother, Mike, but she took care of the community. You know, she took care of her family. She helped others. And even though this is in southern, old brother where art thou, Forrest Gump, Mississippi, where things were very much still conservative and in your face, racist and discriminatory, there were beautiful people of all colors. And my awesome mom was one of them. But she passed away in a tragic car accident that left our family in a downward spiral. My father succumbed to his demons and began a life of addictions and abuse, and introduced trauma to us. My older brother had to do the best he could and grow up fast as a young man at 15, 16 years old, providing for us and so many. And my dad ended up doing the best he could, but ended up giving us up for adoption and losing our home and everything, and gave us an ultimatum. He was like, you can go live with your uncle in Georgia or your aunt in Purvis. But we had to finish school, and shout out to the Achy Breaky Cowboy RP, Craig Holder, and my big bro, Henry Curtis, and all of my Holder family in Lumberton, Mississippi. Legacy, baby, right there. Aunt Duck, Tweety Bird, Sonia, absolutely love y'all. My cousin Shaheem and Pap, Dirk, all my aunts. Jay, Janice, all y'all, man, we love y'all. And I know I'm forgetting some names, but Craig took us into his home and let us finish the school year there. Now, mind you, you have a 9-year-old. No, I was 7 going on 8 when she passed in the summer of 93. And my younger brother's about 6. And so we have a trauma-informed life, and we don't have any consistency. So there's no way to focus in school. You don't know where your next meal is coming from. You don't know where you're going to live. And you don't know if you ever see your dad again, and your mom is already dead. That's a lot to process without therapy for some kids. But Craig opens up his home here in Curtis. I'll never forget, one day I come home from school and Kurt is getting off work and he's in the kitchen. He's watching on his small TV, NBA TV classics, but then they got some pre-draft workouts. And I had never seen anything like that at the time. I had been watching Michael Jordan my whole life. He was my favorite player, idol. I had all of his tapes, VHS tapes, Come Fly With Me, The Air Up There. I had all 6 of them, the 6-disc set when they went 3-peats back to back. And I would go out and emulate moves like Michael Jordan at the park. That was my inspiration. But my life was over or crumbling when it was done for. I'm sitting at the TV with Henry Curtis, and he says, "Come sit with me, cool." And I sit down, and I'm like, "Yo, who is that on TV working out or shooting ball?" He's like, "Man, that's Kobe Bryant. He gonna be one of the greatest players. No, he gonna be the greatest player of all time, the greatest Laker ever. Watch what I tell you." Bro, this is in the summer of 96. At the time, we were watching Kobe work out for the Boston Celtics and somebody else on TV. And I didn't have anything going on in my life, and I love basketball. So, like Kurt, I invested all of my social and emotional energy into this basketball player. And I became a first-time fan of Kobe Bryant, 96 years old, at 9 years old, 7 or 8, one of there around. And there's a term I want to use and tell you about. One second, let me look it up. All right, so this term is called parasocial interaction, PSI. I'll put it here on the screen. It refers to a kind of psychological relationship experienced by an audience in their mediated encounters with performers in the mass media, particularly on television and online platforms. Now, of course, this could be an unhealthy thing, and we can have a lot of stalkers or people who are obsessed And that can be very dangerous to the celebrity, athlete, public figure, or their family. So we're not talking about that at all. It's none of that nature. But here I was, my life was in shambles, and I began to be a fan and obsess over the success of Kobe Bryant. I began to feel that when he was successful, I was successful. I tracked his career. I tracked his up and downs. I rooted for the Lakers. As a matter of fact, my biological mother was a diehard Magic Johnson fan because my family are in the South. They're diehard Lakers fans. As a story for another day. So it was, it was inherent that I become a Lakers fan anyway. And now I had a player that, as he was growing up at 17 years old, I was growing up alongside. Hey fam, really quick. Do you like what you're listening, watching? Is this helping you? Well, really quick, before we go on to the rest of the video, please do me a favor, hit that bell, and please subscribe. Put anything in the comments you want me to talk about, right? I need to hear that. I need to feel that so I can be able to provide more content for you. Thank you so much for subscribing and following. All right, now back to the video. All right, with him. So I watched him get drafted, traded for Vlade Divac for the 13th pick. I watched him go through the first years of highs and lows, working under Dale Harris, missing the air balls with Utah Jazz and being determined. Slam dunk contest, his cheesy smile, the Froby right phase, and how he continued to work and put in the work to get better and became an NBA champion in less than 4 years or under being in the league. And that's a feat most don't have, averaging 40 in the playoffs and helping the Lakers to get over the hump. And then you get older, you watch the documentaries, you watch the interviews, and you realize the nuances, what was going on behind the scenes and how difficult his life was and how obsessive he was. And all things, if you study Kobe Bryant, if you've heard of him, if you watch his clips, I don't have to make this into a Kobe Bryant video, but I'm telling you why I'm a diehard Kobe Bryant fan and what he means to me, why I think he's the GOAT. Well, the things he had to overcome. I remember becoming a young minister at 15 going on 16 years old. I was called to pastor at 4 years old. I always knew that, with dreams and visions and interactions with the spiritual world. I always ran from it. All I loved was basketball and having a good time, because once I got home away from the game of basketball or away from friends, I was battling my depression, suicidal ideation, and the panic attacks. I didn't know what those were clinically until I got older, but that's what it was. And so every time the Lakers lost a game, I felt like I lost. And every time Kobe overcame an obstacle or hurdle, I felt like I did. And it was almost like in my life, he was right there and I was in his. Extremely loyal. I understood the mama mentality before it became a thing, is that life is going to present to you challenges and obstacles. You're going to be told no, you're going to be denied, you're going to be rejected, you're going to be misunderstood. Here's this kid whose father is a world basketball player, and he's having to move from home to home. He never finds community. He's the youngest of his family. He doesn't speak the Italian language. And then as a black kid in America, when he comes to Philadelphia, he doesn't speak that language either. Basketball is his only safe haven, right? And it's not so great when you don't have those social advantages or social developments, but he didn't let that make an excuse. He was infatuated with watching the tapes from his grandparents, Bird, Magic, Jordan, and that's what he wanted to do. And he wanted to be the best, even in soccer. And like in my life, my mom was snatched from me. And I remember her words. I remember her songs. I remember her letters. I remember her hugs. I remember that like it was yesterday. And my father was a king at one point until he succumbed to his own demons, and he became a nightmare for us. And I remember people, when I got off the school bus, me and Mike, my father had been doing some drugs and got arrested. And there were 3 people that I knew that were a part of my village, my community, but none of them took us in. Imagine, you got some kids get off the school bus and the gate to their house is locked. They can't get inside. And somebody pulls up in front of the house and tells these babies, hey, your daddy in jail. Your daddy was doing drugs and he got arrested. That's devastating and traumatic. And I remember that. Yes, 35 plus years ago. I remember that. I remember people coming by, driving up, and trying to scramble to figure out who's going to take care of us because they don't want to. I remember these same people that my mom helped. My mom helped. And when 2 of these babies were in need, her children, Gail's children, they pawned us off to somebody else because they did not want the responsibility or felt like they couldn't handle it. Right? That's my childhood was filled with rejection and abandonment. And so I was hell bent, excuse my French. I was hell bent on being successful, I'm achieving my dreams. Either I was going to die in my sleep, take my own life, and if that wasn't going to happen, I was going to outwork everybody else, and I was going to be somebody. I believed I knew I was special. I knew I was gifted, and I was obsessive about it in everything that I did. I found my comfort and solace in being the best at everything. And I remember when I gave my life to Christ and I was being trained by my pastor as a young minister, I remember Kobe Bryant getting in trouble in Colorado and almost losing his whole life and his marriage and his career. I remember fasting and praying for him. And I know that might sound cheesy or sacrilegious, but screw the haters, because I needed him. I needed him to make it out. And I would go to the Lord on his behalf. I fasted and prayed for him. We would have all night prayers after my basketball games in high school, and I would be at the altar calling out his name, that God would save him, that he would restore his marriage, he would heal his wife. And my favorite comedian of all time, Dave Chappelle, Kobe came out, and it was like Chappelle said, they gave him a ball, and he was like, "Here, play for your freedom."
Like the judge threw him the ball, like, "Play for your freedom."
And Kobe was torching the league. You know, he don't know if his marriage is going to make it. He don't know if he'll ever have a modicum of a regular life, but he can't control that. One thing he can't control is what happens on the court. And I'll tell you what, and he lit into the league. I want to try to end this video. When he and Shaq departed, man, I was devastated because I was a Shaq fan too. Not as much as Kobe, but I love Shaq. Kobe was the obsessive, determined, relentless killer side of me. Shaq was the family-oriented, fun, charismatic, ambitious. You know, Shaq was like Magic Johnson's way of being a killer, and Kobe was like MJ's way of being a killer. And they both meant a lot to me as a Phil Jackson was my favorite coach, as one of my favorite coaches. But they both meant a lot to me as a Lakers fan. And when Shaq got traded, I almost didn't forgive Mitch Kupchak. I don't like him as a GM. I don't know him as a person. And I never would have made that trade ever. I don't care what Jerry West says, that they had to do it, bump all that. I don't care what y'all say. We're not splitting it up. I don't care if Kobe's looking at houses in Chicago. I don't care if he's calling the Clippers or even looking at Dallas. Nope. No, we're not breaking it up. But I felt like my parents divorced when that happened. It was devastating. To see Shaq in a Miami Heat uniform, finally in shape, because he was angry and motivated. But I had to side with Bean. I rode with Bean to the day I die. And every milestone, whether 81 points, averaging 40-plus points for an entire month. And Kobe, I think, because of politics, was robbed of another MVP. Steve Nash, and I get what the league was trying to push in their propaganda. Team ball, a different race, expanding the game globally, pushing certain narratives. And it wouldn't be great with sponsors and revenue generators and big billionaires if Kobe, who was considered a criminal, was the face of the league. So they gave Steve Nash, I understand, one MVP, but you robbed Kobe of one. You owe him that. And even Shaq had a great season too. Like, by all accounts of what the impetus is for most valuable player of the league, it shouldn't have been Steve Nash either year, but I understand him getting one. Kobe should have two, and y'all robbed him of that because of politics. So when we got Paul Gasol in that bone that Jerry threw for us when he was with the Grizzlies, I mean, we could have kept Mark too, but we wanted to win now. It was a blessing in disguise, but even Kobe still had to tough and power up. And then Lamar Odom, even that Lamar Odom trade, man, we never should have traded Lamar Odom. I don't care if Lamar was hurt because we were trying to get CP3. No, LO. But no, man. So when Kobe retired, I cried out of being proud of him, and I wasn't ready to let that go. I needed him to keep going. I needed him to win. I needed him to dominate or to try. When he tore his Achilles, shot those free throws. You know what was happening in my life around that time? We were in transition between ministry, and Patrice and I had two babies, and we were struggling financially. I lost cars, repossession. I had to downsize my home, all pursuing my dream for God. And it was lonely. It was depressing. And some nights my wife was crying because of how bad our situation was. And I was the man. I was a husband. I was a provider. And I was so mad at God. Like, God, how could I'm doing what you told me to do, God. I'm pursuing you. I'm doing what you told me to do. How can you let this happen? And I felt like that's my Achilles tore as well, emotionally. When he came back, fought his way back, tore his shoulder, fought his way back, determined. And so when he passed away, tragically, and those 9 beautiful souls that was on with him, including Gigi, that was devastating for me. It's taken me years to kind of get over it because I feel like I lost a brother, I lost a friend. But I understand what the mama mentality means. I get it because of the things I had to overcome. You can't control everything. You can control what you do. My favorite, one of my favorite doctors, Dr. Carolyn Leaf, she says that no matter what people do to you or say to you, you still have a choice. You can't do anything about anything you can't control, but you got a choice. And it's either you're going to go after your goals or you're going to shut up and do something else. But no excuses. And if God has given you the ability and the talent, you can do this. I'm sorry, I got to quote LeVar Ball, and I'm not sorry. There is no plan B. And the journey is a reward. Getting better every step, competing with yourself, pushing yourself, optimizing every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears you have to be the best. Every nuance, every fabric, studying, obsessively studying your contemporaries, studying those who came before you, studying in different fields, studying and mastering your niche and being the best you can be, regardless. Never being denied. No one can reject you if you don't reject yourself. No one can abandon you if you don't abandon yourself. And if you outwork yesterday, you outwork yourself. The work itself is the reward. That's the fruit. The work is practice. Performance is the reward. And if I'm better than me yesterday, then I have no competition. I will run through you. I will utterly destroy you because you're not even in my ecosystem. You don't exist to me. It's me versus me. That's it. And nothing will stop me to get to my goal. You can't stop me. You won't stop me. I'm coming for everything. And I'm going to die like this. It's a legacy or nothing. It's winning or nothing. There's no participation trophies. No, you either win or you lose. And if I'm applying this mama mentality, even when I lose, I learn. So I'm not really losing. Lastly, for the LeBron versus Kobe and MJ debate, I borrowed this from my cousin Kurt. Who's the all-time leader in assists and steals? That would be a one John Stockton. Does that mean he's the greatest point guard of all time? I don't think so. That's unequivocally Magic Johnson. LeBron may be the best NBA player to play in the NBA, statistically speaking, just a gift from God. And I appreciate him as a lover of the game. But he is not the greatest of all time. And everything MJ did, Kobe did it and did it better. Kobe was a better shooter. Kobe was a better passer. And arguably a better defender. And had Kobe had a similar path to MJ without having Shaq, imagine what Kobe's numbers would be. Imagine what Bean's numbers would be. Imagine if Mitch Kupchak and Johnny Buss would have allowed Phil Jackson one more day, Monday or Tuesday, to decide to come back versus forcing a hire like Mike D'Antoni and running Kobe in the ground, playing him 35 plus minutes. Yeah, he's the GOAT. R.I.P. Mamba. R.I.P. GG. God bless you, Vanessa. And thank you for allowing all of the Mamba Army, the entire Lakers nation, and this young Mississippi pastor, speaker, consultant, father, husband, and so much more. Thank you for sharing him with me and allowing him to be my muse and my inspiration and the family I never met. I wouldn't have made it without you guys. Y'all see this? Yeah. God bless. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Hey fam, thank you so much for watching. If this helped you in any way, please hit that bell and subscribe. And thank you so much for following. And hey, watch some more videos while you're at it. Have an incredible day. Go and dominate. I love you. God bless. Peace.
And greatly to be praised for your glorious name. Through your power, me and my friends are saved. Not who we were, we've really been changed.